Without a doubt, the most misunderstood controls in the Kemper have to be the clean and distortion sense parameters. The clean and distortion sense parameters are located in the input section. Now, to understand what these parameters do, you have to first understand that a profile has two parts, a clean side and a dirty side. When the Kemper is creating a profile, it sends in 3 input signals into the amplifier and listens back through the microphones. The very first of those input signals starts with silence and gradually raises in velocity until it's almost deafening. What the Kemper is doing is listening for at what point the amplifier begins to distort. Up until what decibel level does the amplifier accurately produce the signal that it's giving? That part becomes the clean side of the profile. After that, the Kemper is creating the distorted part of the profile, and it's measuring where the amp is breaking up, where it's compressing, and how it's breaking up. The clean and distortion sense parameters are meant to control these two sides of the Kemper profile. The clean sense and distortion parameters are not gain controls for the input section. I repeat, they are not gain controls for the input section of the Kemper. I know a lot of people say that, but it's just not true. Look in the manual if you don't believe me. The clean sense parameter is intended to raise or lower the volume of clean sounding profiles in relation to distorted sounding profiles. Have you ever ran into a clean profile that sounded great, but it was just really low in volume compared to your raging Plexi on 10 profile? The best way to fix this problem is to go into the input settings and raise your clean sense. Match it to the distorted profile, and you're done. So the clean sense is just a volume control for your cleans. Now the distortion sense parameter is something completely different. You can think of it like an offset control. It can raise or lower the gain of your entire Kemper. So what is this best used for? Well, let's say that I set my guitar up for a high output guitar like this. But then you want to pull out a guitar like this. You should notice that this Telecaster sounds quite a bit more polite than the Les Paul. It has lower output pickups and less mid-range too. That translates to our hearing as being a less distorted sound. So rather than having to go into my Kemper, readjust every single performance, every single profile, so that it works with this guitar, the distortion sense parameter allows me to increase or decrease the amount of distortion globally across the Kemper, across all profiles, so that I can match that guitar to this guitar. Now let's try increasing the distortion sense. Now, if you want to apply your clean sense and distortion sense settings across your whole Kemper, it's best that you lock the input section. I personally tend to leave my clean and distortion sense settings at 0, but whether you're using Tone Junkie profiles, Michael Britt profiles, Sin Mix, Top Jimmy, Selah sounds, the clean and distortion sense should give you an easy way to balance the volume of clean sounds with distorted sounds and the amount of distortion that each guitar gives you. Today we used a Les Paul type guitar with PAF style pickups and a Telecaster. The difference is even more stark if you start using high gain active pickups with something like a Tele pickup or a low output single coil. You'll really notice the difference then. Well, I've been HW. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like us on Facebook, or for more Kemper tips and tricks, check out ToneJunkieStore.com.